Young companies often have strong foundations, but somewhere along the way, growth stalls, because what helped them get started is not necessarily what they need to continue growing. In the Air Force, we used to call this shift in thinking down and in versus up and out. For your business to grow, you need to empower others to take initiative, to solve problems, and to make good things happen. G'day everyone, and welcome to another episode of Lead on Purpose. My name's James Middleton, and over the last 20 years, I've led teams of all shapes and sizes, in the Australian Air Force and in the private sector. These days, I help organisations build ethical, purposeful leadership at every level. I also help you become the leader that you want to be. I explore real-world leadership challenges, bring you inspiring stories from experienced leaders, and give you practical strategies to help you lead with confidence, clarity, and purpose. Today's episode is about the critical shift in thinking that helps founders move from busy to strategic. If you're the founder of a company and are spending more time firefighting than future-proofing, you're not alone, and that's the problem. Young companies often have strong foundations. They have a great product or service, loyal customers, and a passionate founder. But somewhere along the way, growth stalls, because what helped them get started is not necessarily what they need to get over the hump and continue growing. Now, every company is different. There's no doubt about that. There are unique challenges to growth across different market sectors, different industries, or different locations. Success, stagnation, or failure depends on how a company handles these challenges. And that is determined by something that's common to every company across every industry: leadership. Today, I'm going to explore why companies struggle to scale. And I'm going to give you 5 leadership tips to help you move from busy to strategic and unlock the potential of your organization. Let's start with the big question. Why do so many companies struggle to scale? There's many factors that contribute to a stall in growth. There are structural constraints. Systems that worked for a $10 million business don't work at 50 million. Policies and processes that work for 50 employees don't work for 150. There's capability gaps. Teams lack the technical ability or commercial acumen needed to grow. Leaders lack the time and often the capability for real strategic thinking. So the organizations become reactive instead of proactive. Finally, and this is the focus of this episode, there are leadership constraints. The uncomfortable truth is that founders often become the bottleneck. They're stuck in operational detail, making every decision, solving every problem, and micromanaging day-to-day operations. McKinsey research shows that organizations prioritizing leadership development are 150% more likely to achieve above average growth. That tells us something. Scaling is a leadership challenge long before it's a technical one. Far too many companies that achieve initial success hit a growth ceiling. In simple terms, the growth ceiling is the point at which a business stops growing because it's reached the limit of what the current system can support. The growth ceiling isn't a single event that comes out of the blue. It's a slow build-up of constraints like over-reliance on the founder's decision-making, poor delegation, unclear accountability, and a culture focused on survival, not on growth. When this happens, founders spend their days in the weeds. They're working in the business, not on it. And that's where the ceiling forms. To unlock the potential of an organization and get back on the growth train, founders need to shift their thinking. In the Air Force, we used to call this shift in thinking down and in versus up and out. Down and in is a focus on what we're doing right now. In Air Force terms, this means focusing on the problem at hand right now and leading the team to solve that problem as efficiently and effectively as possible. In business terms, that translates to a focus on day-to-day operations. Up and out is a focus on the bigger picture and understanding the strategic context. In Air Force terms, this means assessing the overall battle situation and answering questions like, is our aircraft in the right position to achieve the mission? What threats are out there that might impact our ability to achieve the mission? And what other assets do we have available to support us to achieve our mission and manage the threats? In business terms, that translates to more focus on strategy and delegating the smaller stuff. In the Air Force, when the task is simple, one person can shift their focus between down and in and up and out pretty easily. As the mission or battle space becomes more and more complex, that becomes unachievable for one person, and it risks compromising the mission. The same goes for business. Now, I understand that if you, as the founder of a growing business, have always been the one to make things happen, it can be really tough to shift your thinking and break that habit pattern. Here are 5 leadership tips to help you shift your thinking and move from busy to strategic. Tip number 1, clarify vision, mission, and purpose. Scaling requires clarity. If you want people to work in your business so that you can work on it, they need clarity and connection to the bigger picture. If your team doesn't understand where you want to go, they can't help you get there. Harvard Business Review found that companies with strong leadership alignment grow 2.3 times faster than their peers. In practice, that alignment means that every leader at every level understands where the organization is headed and their own role in getting there. Your job as founder is to make that vision real. Talk about it often. Don't be afraid to sound like a broken record. Just because you get it doesn't mean others feel the same. Connect every decision to the bigger picture. Every decision and every action should be energizing efforts to achieve those big, ugly goals. Vision, mission, and purpose can't only exist as a poster on the wall. They need to be a part of how people think and act every day. Tip number 2, delegate with intent. Delegation isn't about offloading tasks and walking away. That's abdication. Delegation, when done with intent, helps people understand their role and take ownership of it in success and in failure. That's where real accountability starts. So stop being the bottleneck. You can't do everything anymore. That's okay. In fact, it's a good thing. Create a mutually accountable framework where people have the authority, clarity, and trust to get the job done. When you delegate with intent, you free yourself up to focus on strategy and you empower others to lead and to deliver. Tip number 3, communicate, communicate, communicate. The saying goes, knowledge is power. That could mean power for you, but I challenge you not to fall victim to that type of thinking. Instead, think knowledge is empowering. When you share information, good or bad, you're empowering the people around you. For your business to grow, you need to empower others to take initiative, to solve problems, and to make good things happen. To start unlocking the potential of your organization, think about what people need from you in order to be at their best. Share what you can, share why you can't, and make open and honest communication part of your daily life. Tip number 4, foster a growth-focused culture. Culture reflects leadership. If you want a culture committed to growth, you need to model it. Shift from fear of mistakes to learning from them. Celebrate effort and progress, not just outcomes. When people feel safe to share ideas and take risks, innovation becomes part of the DNA. Have a think about the role that open and honest communication has here too. And tip number 5, prioritize strategic thinking. Consciously shift your focus from down and in to up and out. Block out time in your calendar for big picture thinking. Ask, what will matter in 12 months, in 3 years? What do we need to start doing or stop doing to ensure that we capitalize on opportunities and don't fall victim to the threats in our market space? When you make strategic thinking a priority, you set the tone for the entire organization. And this is important because strategic thinking doesn't require size or scale. It's not something that suddenly becomes relevant when you get promoted or start a business. Everyone in your organization should be thinking and acting strategically. Scaling isn't just about systems. It's about the leadership that makes those systems work. If you want to break through your growth ceiling, start by reflecting on your own leadership and making some changes. Let's recap. To shift your thinking and move from busy to strategic, clarify vision, mission, and purpose. If you want people to work in your organization so that you can start working on it, they need clarity and connection to the bigger picture. If people don't understand where you want to go, they can't help you get there. Delegate with intent. Stop being the bottleneck. Create a mutually accountable framework where people have the authority, the clarity, and the trust to get the job done. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Remember that sharing knowledge is empowering. So empower the people around you to take initiative, solve problems, and make good things happen. Foster a growth-focused culture. Culture reflects leadership. So to shift towards a focus on learning and growth, start by openly and honestly talking about your own mistakes and what you learned. Prioritize strategic thinking. When you make strategic thinking a priority, you set the tone for the entire organization. Now here's my challenge to you. Which of these tips are you going to act on first? Thanks for joining me on this episode of Lead on Purpose. If today's episode gave you something to reflect on or a light bulb moment, let me know about it down in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who's ready to become a better leader. And remember, leadership isn't a title, it's a choice. So make that choice and keep leading on purpose. My name's James, and I'll see you next time.